Adobe has no business doing that. But when you open the specially crafted document, it used a vulnerability in Adobe 9.0 to actually do something which the user didn't expect at all. And again, the payload could be according to what the attacker wants. It could be a backdoor, it could be a password stealing trojan, it could be anything. It's entirely left according to what he wanted to steal, what he wanted to own in your computer. Looking at the future, cybercrime has completely changed. 5 years back when I joined McAfee, there were not so many viruses and trojans. Even just 4 years back in 2006, for the whole year, there were only around 70,000 binaries or scripts or that class of family, whatever you call is malware. In 2007, it went up to 270,000, but the last 2 years has just been a flood. You can see those graphs. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even relate to each other because there's been such an outburst in incoming samples that AV companies, security companies are hard-pressed to handle. Just because you start getting 1.5 million samples doesn't mean you increase headcount. How we reacted to this is invested in more technology. A lot of automation goes into analyzing samples. Automation would look at 99% of the samples, and only a 1% of the samples would get escalated to a researcher. From a customer perspective, just relying on plain old antivirus and firewall is not good enough these days. So different MD5 every time. So as an antivirus vendor, you need to come up with generic signatures to be able to detect this. All the files do exactly the same thing, but have different signatures. And why take to cybercrime? We've seen the low risk involved. I could be an attacker sitting in China or any other country, who is remoted into an infected machine in Europe, and I could be doing all my illegal activities from there. Tracing it back to me is very difficult because different countries have different laws, and you also always cannot trace back activities on the internet. Becoming anonymous, being anonymous is like very simple. I could just rent a botnet and do my activities. I don't even have to build a botnet. For a couple of $1,000, I could rent a botnet for an hour, do a denial of service attack, or send a million spam emails, and that is it. I am done for the day. Yes, Krish.
See, on this file PDF that I have shown in the A.exe. Can I do the signature side? Can I extend that A.exe without executing this file?
Rahul, you want to explain that?
Yeah, based on the headers and the footers, can I simply go ahead to maintain?
What you see in the PDF is basically a compressed string. So it's most of the filters, we call it the filters. So inside the PDF file, what you see is a plain thing called zlib-based compressed string. So okay, inside the PDF file, what you see is a zlib-based compressed string.
Right.
So how PDF works is, as you execute it, that compressed string is basically uncompressed, and it's basically all the APIs are being called. So what you need is you need to have the ability to look into those uncompressed streams to figure out the executor. So most of the PDF exploits we see these days are based on JavaScript exploits. It will be most of the JavaScript APIs which is vulnerable. So if you have the insight into the PDF JavaScript, you are pretty much. Yeah, not just headers.
I'm a botnet guy. He's an exploit. Experts in our team. And high reward. We've seen how how easy it is to make money off the internet, and finally the opportunity is there. You're going to have millions of newbie users on the internet. They're always going to be the low-hanging fruit. You can send out 1 million emails, even if just 0.01% of the victims fall for your trick. That is still a lot of people. And because of the lax laws and the fact that you can be anonymous on the internet, it's always safer than traditional crime. One good thing which I've seen in India at least is if you're good with computers, once you grow up, most people get a job because there's a lot of opportunities here. In Eastern European countries or in China, maybe it's not the same. And people who are really skilled do not have employment opportunities, and that kind of drives them to cybercrime. Some India-specific statistics: we've seen 63% of the businesses seeing an increase in threats. Right now, the average is around 13,000 USD for an incident, and India is the 14th most dangerous domain entire world, and third in Asia alone. Around 3% of all Indian websites are rated by red or yellow by McAfee Site Advisor. That's our web reputation technology. What this means, red or yellow, is that site could be hosting malware or could be redirecting you to a attacker's site. Summaries. What this? I'm sorry.
Just 3% of the websites are rated yellow. So when you say the 14th most dangerous domain, it sounds very ominous, it sounds very dangerous by itself. So is 3% such a big number?
When you have 10 million sites, even 3% is a big number.
Only in terms of numbers. I mean, it's okay.
So if you want to see the actual numbers, I can provide you the report, and then you can see where we stack up against the rest of the countries.
And when you say like $13,000 recovery cost, I would not say that price. So that's around 4.5-5 lakh rupees. And I don't see personally, I don't think that putting that sort of money
Incident, okay.
Except for the large size deals, medium size.
So that's an average. Just think and see how much Prometric is going to lose on just one incident. And that kind of averages out.
They lose their confidence, they don't do sharp to their back. So, and I am
this is from a McAfee study, so I can provide you the paper. In terms of what this means to us, the malware problem is here to stay. Today it's on computers and on mobile phones. Tomorrow, as computers get more sophisticated, as your fridge gets more sophisticated, as your microwave gets more sophisticated, you can expect viruses for your refrigerator, which will lock your refrigerator and do not allow you to do it. Take out something out of the fridge till you clean it. So don't think the malware problem is going to go away. It's been there since the 80s, and it's only going to continue. Money is the primary motivation. 20 years back, people wrote viruses, for name and fame, to show off how cool their skills are. Today it's just all about money. You can also see that with India's growing cyber population, we will be an attractive target. There will always be newbie internet users, no matter how much you tell how much you train your folks at home. The attackers will always come up with new techniques. No matter how much banks use technology to make it safer for people, the attackers are always one step ahead. To give you a simple example, previously logging into your internet bank would just be a username and password. So a keylogger could capture that information. So banks started bringing virtual keyboards where you don't type, but you actually click your password. So the attackers took it to the next step. Next generation keyloggers also log mouse clicks along with screenshots. And they are very clever. Only when you visit a bank site, they can set a filter. Every time you click, it would take the mouse coordinates along with the screenshot. So the attackers are always one step ahead. And we need to definitely improve user education at the grassroots level. What McAfee is doing about this is we started an initiative to fight cybercrime. What this allows us to do is to provide a grant to governments, ISPs, law enforcement agencies, schools, colleges, to start introducing security at the grassroots level. If you can teach the new generation of today, the kind of threats that are there, secure coding practices, in a couple of years, you will have a far more security savvy and safer population. Just some resources about McAfee. The website, in case you have a sample which McAfee is not detecting and you want to submit it, there are other links. We also have a site where you can get your PC scanned for free. Our blogs and notifications in case you want to subscribe. That's pretty much the end of my talk. If you have any questions?
Yeah, you just talked about the grants that McAfee provides. Does it only apply to government organizations or like a society or something that is trying to create awareness about security to the common man?
So in India, for starters, we've tied up with the Data Security Council of India. Okay. We've given a 2.5 million rupee grant. As to the specifics, like for something like a conference like this, I like talking in those ranges. So
let's take it off there.
Questions? Any other demo you'd like to see?